Good evening. Today I've got a duo tasting from deepest Italy, and first up I have Saracosa Toscana 2019, 13%, Rosso di Toscana. My family has been tending our vineyards overlooked by the Saracosa Hill since the early 1940s. Legend has it the hill was a sacred pagan site where people gathered to worship the sun and the moon. Much of those original vineyards remain, and they produce high quality concentrated grapes from which we selected the best to make this wine. And the winemaker is Sofia Barbanera. You might remember that I highlighted a white Sangiovese made by this winemaker earlier this year. Now, this looks to me like it's going to be pretty huge, but to contrast it, very much the same kind of shape bottle today. And this one, that one by the way was from Laithwaites. This one is Wine Society Cirò, Rosso Classico Superior, Santa Venere, Calabria, 2020, 13.5%. So these two, Vino Biologico, these two should be a fairly even balance together, but let's see. Now the days are drawing in, so it's getting dark pretty early, and that's leading me to want something pretty beefy in the way of a wine, and that's why I've chosen a couple of hefty Italians this evening. I'm actually going to eat them with fish and some winter vegetables because, you know, it's a pretty dismal kind of part of the year, but hey, we did have some summer sun this morning and it was pretty warm. Whoa. Just doesn't want to, does it? Uh-oh. That's the first cork I've had this year that's split on me. Well, I don't know. There you go. Right, okay, so this is Wine Society's Cirò. A little bit and a little bit. Now, even with such a small amount in a glass, it's going to give me a pretty good indication. Now, I can barely, indeed I can hardly see my fingers through even such a small amount in this glass. So that's going to give me an indication that it's more on the bramble blackcurrant line, but I could be completely wrong. You actually can't tell by looking at the wine, but it's beautiful garnet there, tiny tinge of orange and brown at the edges. Oh, absolutely immense nose, promising lots and lots of cigar smoke, cedar and leather. Not a little bit of licorice and some dark raspberry chocolate. On the tongue, it's an absolutely immense wine. It's totally mouth-filling, very alcoholic. The texture is, you know, pure satin. I would say, you know, offhand, just opening, I mean, definitely it could have been decanted, but this is a beast who answers to a demon in hell. Ooh. I'm getting salami on the nose there. I'm getting some prosciutto ham. I'm getting loads and loads of interesting foraged field mushrooms. Whoa. Much more fruity in this glass. Rose hips, burdock, brambles, bit of cucumber. It's what I would call an incredibly meaty wine. I mean, this one really is where it's at. This is an immense wine. I'm not even getting the grapes at all here. I need to do a bit more research on this one. But my gosh, this is something else. This is a beast. This is the kind of wine I would imagine Roman emperors to drink. You know, the hypoli, the plebis, what is it? Plebs. I wouldn't expect them to drink something like this. It tastes as if it's got dormice stuffed with dates and honey in it. Herbs, spices. You know, the tip of the tail of the Queen of Sheba's pet wild panther. My gosh. How am I going to find a wine that marries up with that one? Well, let's give it a go. I'm feeling a bit Roman today. Right, so this wine, by contrast, I can easily see my hand through it. It's all red currant, red cherry and plum to look at, you know. It's giving me a lot of fruit, but it's giving me the promise of some depth of alcohol in there as well. A lot of forest mushroom. Ooh. Deep dark chocolate in this. This is a very hedonistic wine. It looks entirely black on there. It's very much like Redcurrant Jelly to look at in the glass. But I think it's got the promise of great things to come if I just leave it to aerate for a while. I can see my hand straight through this glass in contrast to this amazing one. I think they are a